If you've been online this week, you can feel the shift.
Oh, yeah.
We are so past the novelty phase of AI. Those funny images of, like, cats in spacesuits, that feels like a decade ago.
It really does. We've moved squarely into the infrastructure phase. The toy has become a tool, a power tool. And the big theme from all our reports today is what people are calling the end of the technical divide.
That's a huge claim.
Oh.
So our mission for this deep dive is to see if that's actually true.
Right.
We're digging into the state of consumer AI for 2026. Specifically, we want to know why coding is suddenly being treated like a communication skill, why having just one AI model is a waste of money now, and what on earth is the Agentic Web.
And you can't understand any of that without starting with this term that it sounds like a joke, but it's a real development strategy. It's called vibe coding.
Okay, I saw this in the notes. Vibe coding. That sounds more like making a Spotify playlist than building actual software.
It does, doesn't it? But it was popularized by Andrej Karpathy, and the idea is simple. The barrier to entry isn't syntax anymore, it's intent.
The vibes.
The vibes. You provide the vision, the logic, the design, and the AI is the bricklayer. It handles the boring stuff, the loops and functions.
So what does that look like in practice? Am I just yelling at my computer until an app shows up?
Almost. You're using tools like the Replit agent, or a better example is Cursor. It's a fork of VS Code, and it has this thing called composer mode.
Okay.
You literally just type in plain English, make this button blue, and save the user data to a CSV file, and it goes and edits multiple files across the entire project to make it happen.
And this isn't just for hobbyists, right?
Yeah.
I'm seeing numbers here from companies like Adidas, Booking.com. They're reporting productivity gains of up to 30%.
They are. They're calling them citizen developers. But, and this is a huge but, we have to add a major caveat here. A citizen developer is not a perfect developer. Security researchers found that these agents, they're great at avoiding basic bugs, but they almost always miss authorization logic.
Meaning what, exactly?
Meaning that AI builds a perfect door, but it forgets to put a lock on it. You still need a human security audit. You're the manager now, not just the ideas person.
Okay, so if I'm the manager, I need to know who to hire. And I feel like most people are just clinging to their one ChatGPT subscription for everything.
And that is the single biggest mistake you can make in 2026. The whole one model to rule them all era is just, it's over. It's all about specialization.
So walk me through the team then. If I want to be smart about this, what am I using?
You have to triage. For the grunt work, reading huge documents, sifting through data, you use the Budget King, which is Google's Gemini 3 Flash. It's dirt cheap. We're talking 50 cents per million tokens. You can just leave it on.
Okay, but for the smart stuff?
For the smart stuff, you switch gears. If it's abstract reasoning, hardcore math, you're using GPT 5.2. I mean, it just scored a perfect 100 on the Amy math competition.
Oh.
But if you want the vibes, the good writing, the nuanced code, the system design, you go to Claude 4.5. It's at the top of all the software engineering leaderboards right now.
So the real strategy is a workflow review.
Yeah.
You use the cheap model to read and digest, the creative one to draft, and the logic model to double-check the work.
Exactly. You chain them. And that chaining is what leads to the biggest change this year.
Mm-hmm.
We're moving from asking the internet questions to assigning it tasks.
The Agentic Web.
That's it. It's the huge Apple-Google partnership in action. Siri is now powered by Gemini. You don't search for best hiking boots anymore.
You just say.
You say, find and buy the best boots for my trip next week. It reads your calendar, sees you're going hiking, checks the weather, and it just buys them.
That's incredibly convenient for me, but it must be terrifying for businesses. If I'm not searching, I'm not seeing their ads or websites.
Well, yeah, SEO is effectively dying. It's being replaced by AIO.
Artificial intelligence optimization.
Exactly. If your brand isn't in the AI's trusted knowledge base, you might as well be invisible.
But if the AI is our filter for everything, we have to talk about quality. My feeds lately have just felt off.
It's the AI slop problem. I saw one report that said something like 20% of videos shown to new YouTube users is just low-quality synthetic junk. It's just noise. Viewer fatigue is a real thing.
And it gets much more serious than bad videos.
Yeah.
I mean, we all saw the reports in January about XAI's Grok.
We did. The controversy over it allowing for the non-consensual nudification of images was a huge wake-up call.
Mm-hmm.
It just showed this massive gap between what a model can do and what safety guardrails are in place.
Oh, what's the fix?
Well, platforms are trying. They're pushing things like Synthed for watermarking, but honestly, it's an arms race, a constant battle between generation and detection.
So it feels like we're at this weird crossroads. On one hand, I can build an entire application just by describing it. On the other, the internet is just filling up with synthetic noise.
That's the perfect summary of 2026. Coding is for everyone, but the digital world has never been messier.
So here's the final thought for you to chew on. We're moving from a world of searching for answers to assigning tasks to these agents. And if we let algorithms become the new front door to the internet, are we really okay with them deciding not just what we see, but what we buy?
That is the question.
Keep the vibes high and the code clean. Thanks for listening.